Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link.
Before you get it, baby, show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. But you walk right past me, pretending like you
Okay, okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing out there? What day is it? Okay, I knew that. I'm just kidding. Really, at first, I did forget it was Wednesday. Then I'll tell y'all about some senior moments. And you younger people don't laugh because you have them too. They're called junior moments. You just haven't named them yet. So I'm just saying. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Because I was up early today and I was doing something for tomorrow. So everything I typed in said Thursday. And I recorded something where I had to say, welcome to Thursday. So that's why I'm not losing it, I don't think. Okay, but listen, welcome to Wednesday's edition of Bathroom Moments. I'm your host, Dr. Lauren. I'm so happy to be here today. It's the middle of the week already. Where has the time gone, right? But I do want to say, good morning. I see y'all, beautiful people all over the place. I see you. I see you. I see you. And I just want to say it is a wonderful thing to be able to get up every day in our right mind, or at least partially for me. But we get to ease suffering in the world in our own special way, right? And it's just a beautiful thing, y'all. And when we come here, guess what we're doing? I don't pay attention to the numbers. I really don't. Because even if it's one person, I'm one, they're one, you're one, and the promise has been enacted, that one that guarantees us that where two or more of us, we come together, we've got that mindset, that heart set, that spirit of easing suffering and of being of service to others in this world. You know what happens? That's right. Spiritual magic. That's right. That, my friends, is the bell of purpose. It's a real thing, not a gimmick, not just a show prop, but a real thing. I like to refer to the bell of purpose as a reminder, an opportunity, because I want you to lean in, tune in. A lot of goodness on the table today, a lot of things that you can benefit from. You're going to see in just a minute. But that bell, just like the truth, you guessed it, has a ring to it. Tune your spirit in to the truth and watch what happens. Can I get an amen? Just one? Okay, two, because I gave you one. There you go. That means we are in agreement. So listen, really quickly, one announcement. Here it is. Excuse me. Tonight, where am I? Tonight, free workshop from 7 p.m. Central until 8:30 p.m. Central. We're coming together to share a bunch of great information about how to become a professional speaker. So many of you write in, you stop by and you express that you're getting frustrated, and we don't want that. We want to help you get your message to the world. So get over to Eventbrite. I'm going to drop the link inside the comment section so you can get over and get your free seat, okay? That's tonight, 90 minutes. Mark your calendar. I hope to see you there. So who's here today? I think she's been here before. You're going to think it's Janet Jackson. I'm going to just tell you that now. Don't freak out. It's like, oh, Lord, call it Juanita. Janet Jackson's on Bathroom Moments. I know, one day, but it ain't today. But she could kind of get away with it. Hey, I got some ideas. Dr. Michelle Arhana is here, and she is just an incredible person. She really is. I can't think of many women that are even more incredible. Okay, wait a minute. One, her mama. Love her, mama. I swear, this girl's, Anyway, we're going to talk about her today, too, when we get Michelle in here. Dr. Michelle, you guys, she's a life coach, a relationship coach. She's an author. She's a public speaker. She's Mimi, which is code for grandma. Yeah. And we're going to talk about that today as well. And I just want to wait. Why is everything locked up on me? Okay, there we go. Here we go. So let me tell you, she's an experienced relationship coach, and she specializes in personal and business relationships. She is an electrifying, motivational, and inspirational, and I'm going to add another one, transformational speaker who specializes in helping organizations and individuals with a plethora of different lanes of need. For just a couple: emotional intimacy, healing of relationships. She helps you establish purpose, transitional phases. There's a big one, especially post-COVID, conflict resolution, authenticity, business intimacy. And here's the thing. She's known as the self-vow queen. Seriously, she has that locked down. And that's what we're here today to talk about. She has 2 brand new books, 2, not 1, but 2. The Self-Vows for Teens and the Self-Vows Littles books, which was inspired by her little handsome, and he knows how to wear a suit. Trust me, a grandson. So we're going to talk about that today. Listen, it's time to put some hearts on the screen because that's how we virtually clap. That's how we say welcome and get to our feet because I hear her coming down the hall. Here she comes, y'all. Again, don't go calling Juanita. It's not Janet Jackson. It's Dr. Michelle Arhana. Good morning.
Good morning.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Oh, hallelujah. Because earlier when she came in, she couldn't hear me. And I was like, go out. Sometimes that happens. Boy, you're in the West. You're on the West Coast. So where are you exactly? Early.
In Southern California. I'm in Belmont Shores, so right by Seal Beach.
Oh, so I'm looking at this hat and all this, and you must have got up at like 2 a.m.
No.
You know why, y'all? Because they go to the grocery store out there. They go to the laundromat, the flea market, mailbox, all of it, looking just like this. I'm so excited you're here, Dr. Michelle. Listen, here's what I do every day. I like to give people a chance to just catch a vibe of their own with the audience. So I'm going to dip out for 60 seconds and just let you just pour into people. You know, what's on your heart today? And then I'll come back and we'll get started. I can't wait to talk about these books and all your other books and the work you do in general. So I'm going to dip out. I'll come back. Take it away, all you.
Okay. Well, I am so happy to be here this morning. I'm so excited. Love Dr. Lauren. You know what was on my heart this morning was forgive quick and love harder. When we forgive quick and when we don't hold on to stuff, after we forgive and we pour in love, we even love harder than we did before maybe the offense was even made. So that was just really on my heart this morning is that no matter what is going on in your life, no matter what someone else has done, forgive quick. Life is precious. Move past it and then love harder. So that was what was on my heart. So I hope that touches someone this morning.
It touched me, but I'm going to tell you what else touched me. Hold your sleeves up. Are you done coordinated the hat with the sleeves? Hold it. I was like, and I got this old plain hat. You know, I should have known. I should have wore a tux or something to hang with you.
Listen, Dr. Lauren, you know you be sharp.
Oh, thank you. I just love you. I just love you. Your voice, I could listen to you teach, pour into, preach, chat, what have you, all day long. I want to get to this. Let's start with how did the original birthing of the self-vows, because you do retreats with women. Explain how self-vows began and what it is today.
So I was sitting in my office several years ago, and I was a bit frustrated and puzzled because I knew there was something deeper why couples came into my office, past the sex, communication, finances. I knew that there was something deeper. So days went by, months went by, almost at a year. And I did something that I should have did in the very beginning. I relaxed. I just relaxed and said and surrendered. God, it's up to you at this point to let me know what it is because I've researched, I've racked my brain, and I just don't know, but I know that it's something deeper. And listen, when I relaxed, within a couple of days, I sat up straight in my bed and I was like, bam, that's what it is. That's what it is. And so what I realized is that most of us have been to a wedding, right? We've heard those vows to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, to death do our part, or to death do us part is what we hear, as long as we shall live. And then I thought to myself, that's it. Is that most people have never taking their self vows,
Mm-hmm.
to have and to hold from this day forward. Do I have everything about
Ooh.
myself? Not saying that I don't need to change anything, but in this moment right now, do I have everything about myself to hold, to support? Am I my biggest cheerleader? Do I own my own genius? Do I know what lane I'm even supposed to be in? And am I okay with that? Or am I busy trying to compete with somebody else, which is a
Eh.
competition you will never, ever win? From this day forward, am I always stirring in my mess? Is it hard to forgive or the mess of the past, right? So if I can't even forgive myself and move forward, how in the world can I be in relationship with someone and forgive and move forward? And that's just one vow. So I
Right.
realize that if we don't do that for ourselves first, then how in the world can we engage someone else? So I knew that I was onto something, but I didn't quite know how to put it all together.
Mm.
But listen, when I did, it was such a gift to me that honestly, I didn't want to give it to anybody else. I really wanted to just keep it to myself because it was so precious. It was so beautiful. And I had truly believed that God had given this gift to me. And I was so grateful. But of course, I knew that I had to share this with the world, and I'm so glad that I did, because then after that, a book came, a program, retreats, and it has just been an amazing journey.
Yes, yeah, and I'm so silly. I'm saying I want to go back to the forgiveness part. That's a big piece. But I'm sitting up here, y'all. I'm like, you know what? We could probably get in all kind of restaurants and stuff if we just made them think you were really Janet Jackson. Because I'm sitting there going, if she don't look like Janet Jackson, I ain't Lauren. I'm not kidding. I'm sitting on my crazy mind back in the day. I'm just saying, back you lucky I ain't living out there right now. So anyway, I think that is a beautiful story. But that sitting up in the bed part. See, that's divine inspiration. I've had
Yeah.
that moment. And it's interesting because that's how the forgiveness piece. Back in 1988, I was out there living in Hollywood and sat straight up in the bed after having a dream that I was in the audience of a game show, like Love Connection, but it was called Apology Accepted. And I said, I said, who came up with this? Instead of voting for dates, you voted for which one of those relationships you thought could be healed. And so
Mm.
I started it and ended up in People Magazine, on Oprah, all these things from that moment of divine inspiration. But here's the deal. A lot of people have moments of divine inspiration, but they don't do anything with them. You have to act. Talk about that. What did you do that day after you sat up in the bed? Did you just put that in a piece of Tupperware and put it up somewhere and then came back a few months later? Or did you act immediately? Were you a good servant? Were you a great steward? What did you do, Dr. Michelle?
That actually has been the special thing about me that my mom always says, that it's been there ever since I've been 5 years old,
Mm.
that I have been the kind of person when there is just a divine intervention in whatever way that it is, whether it's an idea, whether it's a thought, maybe it's a word, for someone else, I act on it. Like sometimes I don't even know what in the world that I'm doing,
Right.
but I realize that I'm that person that I create the blueprint and I just learn as I go.
Yes.
So I've never been like, just following the trend, but I've always been that person that just said, well, yeah, nobody's doing this. I've never heard of this before. I know it's divine. So let's get going. Let's figure it
See?
out. So
That's the
yeah,
key. That's the key. You know it's divine. And see, so many of us, I know a lot of one of a kind things have gone down the drain because, and then people see it later when somebody else does it. I had that idea. I got letters from people from all the way back. They said in the 40s, the 50s, the 70s. I had that idea. I had that same idea when they saw it in People magazine. They said, but I didn't do anything with it. I
yeah.
didn't do anything with it. And it's just amazing. So so you guys act on it. You see what I'm saying? Jump and grow your wings on the way down. Seriously, faith is not a thing, it's a place. So when you
Yes.
need it, know you standing in it. I'm
Yes.
serious. All those things you cannot touch, joy, compassion, all those brilliance, all those things are places. It's there when you need it. All you got to do is believe it. Seriously.
Absolutely,
Seriously.
yes.
So let's talk about forgiveness, because I know that must come up a lot, especially like in your retreats when people, become vulnerable and whatnot. But I encountered when I did professional apologies for people who couldn't or wouldn't for themselves. And there are a lot of reasons. So don't judge. It's not as easy sometimes as you think to forgive people, especially for some of the stuff they put. You're like, But you need to learn how to forgive, even if it's not for them, it needs to be for you. So a lot of people talk about this, Dr. Michelle. What some people do, I say, like, this is our forgiveness box. I used to do this where I would say, okay, I forgive you, but really, and then something will come up like 2 years later, almost like that, or I'd be like, because I'm really still suspicious, right? Because I haven't whitewashed. I haven't totally forgiven and released it. I filed it away. Like, in the first sign, this is what you did in 1974, and now you doing it again. But see, I wouldn't have had this to pull out if I had really forgiven. Talk about what forgiveness really means. Some people file stuff away to pull it out later and throw it in your face, right?
Yes.
It happens more than people would admit. So talk about that, if you
Well,
could.
just in a transparent moment, forgiveness has been a mountain for me. It has been something that I've struggled with throughout the years. I understand forgiveness. I have read so many books on forgiveness. But the one thing that I've realized is that it is a process and it looks different for everyone in terms of their forgiveness journey. Here's another thing that I've realized is that what you talked about is the behavior. So when you see that behavior, then again, you get scared. You're like, oh no, I don't want to feel that disappointment. The deeper the hurt, I feel the harder it is sometimes to forgive it. Because if the hurt is not that deep, you can just, okay, you know what? That's fine. Girl, we could get past that. No
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
But I think when you have given a piece of your heart, that vulnerable piece, that transparent piece, or you've given when you didn't have, like you sacrificed, and then someone hurt you or they betrayed you, it's harder to get
That's the
past
one. That's the
the
one.
offense, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
when you talked about filing it away, I was the queen of that. Like, I file it away, and as long as you don't show me any of that behavior again, we're good. You are
Right.
forgiven, right?
Right.
And
Right.
as soon as I would see, see,
There
see,
you go again.
there you go
I
again.
knew it. Right.
You said that you weren't. But here's what I've realized too, is that the one thing that you cannot control is someone else's behavior. They have a process that they need to go through too,
Yeah.
right? You're going
Yeah.
through your forgiveness process, but they're going through their process in terms of whatever the behavior is. It didn't take them overnight to get that way, right? Or to think that way. So it's not going to take them overnight to just change that like that. So
Yeah.
you have boundaries though. You have to have boundaries, but you also give grace. And so I am that what I said in the beginning about, forgiving quick and then loving harder,
Yes.
that really is to myself on an everyday basis. I have to keep that in front of me because I truly believe that when you don't forgive, other things start to attach itself, like
Mm.
sickness, illness,
Oh. Yeah. So it's
'cause
like some type of emotional flypaper.
yes, absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. When
Mm.
you hold all of that stuff in, well, where is it going? You're not releasing it. So then you start having those stomach aches. Then that may turn into an ulcer. Or you start having backaches because you're carrying it in your back.
Yeah.
Or we're supposed to be free flowing, right? So I always say this: if you have an issue with constipation, then you have an issue with unforgiveness.
Oh, oh, when you're backed up,
Be- that's right, because
it's
you're
for a reason.
emotionally constipated. You're
Yes.
emotionally constipated. Yeah.
That's deep. That's deep. So when you go on these retreats, oh, and I want to say that because I got something pulled up to show. Because I was thinking about I show something probably 15, 20 times a week. I think I probably showed it to you on one of our calls. Maya Angelou, Just Do Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
remember that?
oh,
Remember
yeah, that
that?
one hit me.
When it starts, she said, if you teach, you must
Mhm.
live your teachings. And
Yeah.
that is a hard thing to do, but not when you have these vows.
Yes.
Because I treat, the four agreements are
Mm-hmm.
like
Love
vows for
that.
me because the minute I am out of alignment, I feel different. I
Yes.
know it. I mean, that's how I got that box of cards.
Mm.
I told y'all, right? I was in California and I was mad because I was trying to leave Monterey Bay and my flight kept getting delayed. And I had to be in an event the next day down in LA and I had a photo shoot, a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm just walking through the airport, just cussing and on my phone with the United people and this and then I just wandered into one of those little book stand places. And I didn't even want nothing. I don't know why I'm in there. And I'm like, and I looked on the counter. And the minute I laid eyes on that box, it was like when you used to be in church acting up or something, and you catch your mama looking at you like, I'm going to tear that ass up tonight when we get home. I see you. I see you. And you'd be like, right. That's what happened. I immediately brought it down and I bought those. And I said, see, even when I can't find it on my own, it literally found me. So talk about the power of these vows, because I have a masterclass, shameless plug, that I actually say in there that most people, when we're honest with ourselves about great things that went south, that blew up, that fell apart, whatever the case may be, most cases, when we really get honest and look at it, we had a lot to do with it and can say, you know what? I had a bigger part of that than I thought I did. So talk about how these self-vows help people to keep their moral compass true north, because it's not always going to be somebody there to catch you and say, girl, you need to check yourself. Right. How do you get people to acknowledge, I guess, that they need these vows with themselves? How do you get them there?
So I think that a lot of people, when they do connect to me, they already know that something is not right. They don't know what it is. They just know something's not right in their life.
Mm,
Maybe they're feeling lonely and disconnected. Maybe they just feel stuck. Maybe they're just in a place where they've been in for a very long time and they just don't quite know how to move from stuck, to being just unstuck, right? So a lot of times people, they already know that something is going on. Also, someone may have seen the video. When they see the Self-Vows Retreat video, they are excited. And sometimes they're just excited to go to the retreat, right?
yeah.
But they have to go through the Self-Vows program, even in a forum, before they even get to the retreat. So you don't escape doing your work. You still end up doing your work, even though you might have just saw the video and thought, oh my gosh, are we going to be able to get those manly hands that we have manly hands come and massage the women. So a lot of times when they see them on the video, are they gonna be there? But
Right.
when they go through the process of the program, oh my gosh, the layers that begin to just start peeling back. It's just such a beautiful, it's a spiritual thing to just
It
watch,
is.
happen. But I will tell you a one vow: to love and to cherish, because so many people will say, I love myself. Of course, I love myself. But then I challenge them. And I said, well, do you go out on dates with yourself? And they said, oh, I go to lunch with myself sometimes. I said, are you on the phone? Well, yeah. I said, so you're not really experiencing
Mm,
yourself because you're on the phone, you're doing other stuff. You're not even experiencing the food that's in
mm,
front of you because you're distracted. What are some of the things that you love to do? Do you do that by yourself? And a lot of
yeah.
times women are like, well, no, I'm waiting for somebody to do it with, right? I'm like, come on,
Why
you
wait?
are your first love.
Mm,
You have to connect to you. If you don't hang out with you, if you don't know what you love to do, when someone comes and asks you, hey, well, what do you like to do? And you're like, well, what do you like to do?
right.
Well, what sets your soul on fire? What sets your soul on
Ooh,
fire, right? And
ooh,
so for me, it's like when you start to really dig deep down and you want to know, you should know those things about yourself before you're even trying to have those conversations with someone else. When they do
right,
things like date yourself, and I know it's like cliche, but it's for real. You have to date yourself intentionally, though, and be fully present in dating yourself. And so when you start to like yourself, then you start to fall in love with yourself. It
there
gets
you go,
good at
there you
that
go.
point. Then you begin to love yourself. And that's just something very simple
Mhm.
that I feel like a lot of people, they don't even think about it like that. They'll just say, oh, of course I love myself. But they don't even know what even that
What
means
it
to love
means.
you, right?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So the video that you were talking about, is it on your website?
Yeah, so if you go to the selfvows.com, there's tons of videos there of our self vows, and we go to different cities. We were actually a couple of weeks ago, we were in Houston. So yeah, it's beautiful. You'll go there and you'll get lost in those videos because you'll see the stories too of triumph and challenge, and you will see yourself in those videos.
Wow. Wow. So if they go to the Michelle Arhana site, there's videos there too, but that's not the ones, these aren't the ones that you're talking about.
Right. You need to go to the selfvows.com.
Oh,
And then it will tell you it's everything self vows. It'll tell you all about the self vows. The self vows books are there. So everything is there on the selfvows.com. And the self vows retreat is 4 days, 3 nights, and it is just we spoil you. We spoil you. Oh my gosh. If you've never been spoiled before,
uh-oh.
you will a lot of times the women don't want to leave because
It's
they
so
feel
good.
like, wow, I got to go back and face the reality. Because
Mm,
when they're with us, they feel safe, they feel seen, they feel like, oh my gosh, I do have a purpose. And they feel connected to it for the first time. And I don't want to just say this is for women. I want
that was
men
my next question.
so much to be a part of this. And listen, I've been trying now. I've really been trying to get men to connect and come together, but men sometimes are a little bit more difficult to get to come together and to
Yes,
talk about feelings and life and all of these different things. So but we're prayerfully just we're prayerfully by faith that this will happen, if not by the end of this year, but that it will happen next year.
absolutely. And why is that? Do you think men, so many men are, my husband isn't that way, but I am. And it's when it's something sensitive, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's like it's difficult. If I'm in a safe space and trusting, yeah. But I think for me, what it is usually I'm afraid of the questions that will come back at me that I can't hear in advance and plan an answer for. 'Cause I don't like
Yeah.
getting caught off guard because then next thing you know, I'll be crying and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then they're gonna go talking about that. So that's the kind of thing. But what do you find? What do women who come to you and they say, I wish I could get my man, my partner, my husband, my boyfriend, whatever the case may be, to be open to something like this? What kind of advice do you give them to keep them patient, wait on him, or what do you tell them to do that they might be able to do to help soften him or open him up to the possibilities?
Well, first, let me say this. I have had many men that have come through my Self-Vows program, not through the retreat, like not coming together with other men, but they have come through the Self-Vows program. And they have been so different, like so different after they finish. But when it comes to doing a testimonial, they're like, no. I don't want to do a testimonial. Like, I
Right.
don't want anybody knowing, what I just went through. And I'm like, you don't have to say all of that, but it's one, I think it's people knowing, being afraid of people knowing what they're going through or what they've come through. I see it as a breakthrough, and you can't spell through without spelling rough. So it's
Mm.
great to let other people know that I've been through some rough times, but you too can get through it. So that's one of the reasons, not wanting people to know what you've been through, being embarrassed. The second thing is, I heard one man say, he's like, I don't want to come together and just talk about my feelings with other men. I don't want to do that. And I said, well, it's not just that. I said, there's other things and team building things and
Yeah.
things that men do. And here's the other thing. I would not run the self-vows for men like I do the self-vows for women. It's my brand, yes, but I would actually have a man be able to execute what the Self-Vows brand is. And so
Mm.
that way they're more comfortable to actually talk about some things. Like, for example, erectile dysfunction. I deal a lot with that, and that's a very embarrassing thing to talk
Everybody got
about.
right.
So of course I would not be the one standing up there trying to have this conversation with a bunch of men. It
Right.
would be someone else, but that is representing in the self-vows concept. So, I've tried to have those conversations and trying to ensure them that they would be safe and they're not just going to be sitting around talking all day. You could go boating, there's other things that men things that
Yes.
you would do at the
Yes.
retreat. I wouldn't have manly hands come and massage,
You have
you all or whatever. I'd have the women's
the
department,
the gentle
or whatever.
hands.
Or if you don't mind a man massaging you, that's fine too. I just think that they already make up their own story and they write their own narrative on what the Self-Vows retreat is going to be about. And if they would just experience it, and all it takes is one. We
That's
do
right.
one retreat and show men what happened in those 4 days and 3 nights. It just takes one, and you will change so many lives.
Wow. Well, speaking of changing, we're going to change over and take a look at the Self-Vows commercial and come back and talk to it about it.
In a world where we've been raised to put others first, self-love can often feel selfish. Setting aside time for self-love causes feelings of guilt, and we struggle to maintain a dedicated self-love practice. The Self-Vows, 7 vows that will change your life. Enjoy the book that echoes my face-to-face sessions and stories from others that have taken the self-vows and some who didn't.
Hmm.
This book is a part of the Self-Vows program. Experience life-changing results with the complete face-to-face program, of course by Zoom, or private sessions, or even the retreats. Learn to have and support everything about yourself or others. Learn to stop looking in the rearview mirror and move forward. Learn to commit to yourself and others. Have a healthy relationship with finances. and forgiving unhealthy financial choices. If you have a desire for a love that connects to daily evolution, happiness, and freedom, commit to this book of love. Finally, you will learn and accept that you will never leave you. When you commit to self in that way, you will find it much easier to commit to another. I will connect to you through my journey, the journey of others, and well thought out questions that will penetrate deep within if you allow them to. Take this amazing journey with me. You are the most important priority because without your peace of mind, everything else is meaningless. After this course, you will commit to the self-vows as a daily inner compass. When you begin your love affair with yourself, you will prevent self-sabotage. Don't you think it's time to change your life and reset all that doesn't serve you? You can do it. I did. The self-vows, the most important vows that you will ever take to yourself.
Wow. That was powerful. Yay.
Yeah.
And
Yay. I was going yay.
I know. So was I. And I want to say, I am encouraged about the men thing because, we started watching that show, The Chi, because it's here in Chicago. And they have a group. The men come together on the show and they have like a group, like a prayer group or something, but a men's group. So I found that very exciting and very inspirational as far as the change that needs to happen. So now let's pivot and let's talk. So you have, that's the main program, but now you have taken it even back further, younger, as far as like the teens and then even the littles. So start where you feel, which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Okay. So I have to say, so the self-vows for teens, for years, I have been told that I needed to do this for teens because a lot of women and men would say, wow, if I had this book when I was a teen, this would have changed a lot of the decisions that I made and just the trajectory of my life, in a positive way. So I thought, wow, that's so true. Because if I had this book as a teen, it would have definitely changed just that insecurity that was deeply rooted in me, even the bullying and all of these different things, right? And then I met this beautiful soul by the name of Dr. Lauren, who we were on, we were in a session and you literally said, this is, you need to write an ebook for teens, for the self-vows. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is it. I knew that was it. I knew that at that point I needed to execute it because if you're an author, you know that after you write a book, you just want to take a break from writing because it's just it's a spiritual journey, but it's draining, right?
That's what I heard.
Yeah, it really, really is. And so I didn't write it right then and there because it was a really tough year for me. I had lost like 7 people back to back to back. And it was a very, very tough year, but it was in the back of my mind. I knew that I could not get away from that. So when I decided to do it, I went ahead and wrote it very quickly. But in that moment, I looked at my grandson and I thought, well, wait a minute. I went back to a thought when I was 5 years old. And I went back to that thought. And I thought, wow, if I would have had this book at 5, if I would have had this book early on, teaching me about self-love and value and worth and having my own voice and being okay with that, and respect for yourself, respect for
Yes.
others. And we have respect for others. I mean, we better have respect for others, but not so much where we talked a whole lot about self-worth, self-love,
Hmm.
respect. We really didn't talk a lot about self stuff. It was always about someone else and showing that
Yeah.
to someone else.
Right, right,
So,
right.
and I looked at him and he just inspired me. And I could just see in my head, I just saw colors. I just saw, just a lot of colors and the diversity of just, just littles from everywhere. And yeah, I was so excited about doing both of the projects. Of course, the littles, I was so excited about that because I'm looking at him weekly and I thought this is going to be so wonderful. I get to pour in like this book in my little one, and he
Yes.
gets to see that and we get to talk about self-love. We get to actually have those conversations. So I was just so excited and just over the moon at that point about these projects. And that actually, the self-vows littles, to me, that was even more tougher than the ebook because the illustrations, I never done a children's book. So just all of the
Was it
edits
was
and
it
the
was it
revisions.
was it a difficult
It
challenge?
it it was
I had a feeling,
because
yeah.
illustrations are different than you're just writing, text. You have like your picture, your cover, and then you have your cover in the back, and that's it. But this was like literally every page had to tell a
She did
story
a
and it
great
had to
job.
connect. It just came out so beautiful. When I say that I'm over the moon, I am over the moon. And with the self vows for teens, I know how I felt as a teen. Like I don't ever want to go back to those years, but if I had
Lord,
to,
no.
I'd want to go back to this. I'd want to have the self vows for teens to guide me and lead
Absolutely.
me through that because it's tough for teens, especially in today's time.
It
It's so tough for
it's
them. And
very
so,
tough. And
yeah,
I just wanna say right here for all of you out there listening now or on the replay, listen, I'm already making a list of the kids that I know in my neighborhood, in my family, who are going to college, who are going to a new high school, they're going from middle school, transitioning. They're transitioning. If you know someone who is their family is moving, our neighbors just downsized, and their youngest is the one who babysits our cats when we're out of town, and she's just devastated that she's moving where she's the only child that grew up in that house, and the others lived somewhere else first, and then but she was born in that house, and now it's no more. So teens, you got to understand. Remember when you were a teen, every day, whatever was happening was the world. It
yes,
was the world. It was,
yes,
next week is a different world. Tomorrow is a
yes.
different world. Later today,
Mhm,
it's a different world.
mhm.
And so, yes, yes, yes. I think this is a great Christmas stocking stuffer. And I think if you care about the young people in your world like you claim you do, then you need to get these books. And I just want to say, shout out because I have looked through this book like 3 or 4 times already. And I'll be honest with you, I'm still the same kid because I've been watching and looking at all the pictures. So, Fatima, Aman Fatima, am I saying it correctly?
Yes, uh-huh.
Shout out. She a brilliant illustrator. And she's a friend of yours. I saw you put a part in the book directly about her. So is she a friend of yours? I just want to ask.
She's not a friend of mine, but I feel like we've become friends
She did a
through
beautiful
this
job.
through this process. And she was so patient with me because your books are your babies. And I, I I probably was a little picky, but I
Well,
wanted it to be right. And she was very patient with me. And when I saw the end result, I just was over the moon. And even with the Self Vows for Teens, even that book cover, just showing that there are no color lines, there are no cultural lines. It's just not saying that we don't respect that,
yeah.
but when it comes to just love, right? That's what we all need to experience.
Yes.
Self-love is what we all need to experience. Self-worth is what we all need to experience. And the self vows for teens is very good for mentors to use, for materials, to support, for educators. And yes, for you parents, it will be invaluable
Yeah,
as you
absolutely.
go through this process of, now having teens. So
Yeah, that's that. They all say that that's the roughest stretch of the
it
highway is that
is.
those teenage years. So I want to ask you because I don't want to forget before we get out of here. Do you do retreats for couples? Have you done any of
Okay,
those? Are you planning it?
you know what?
Mhm.
So I actually started with retreats for couples.
Oh,
Literally, I don't even, looking back on it, I don't even know how it just morphed into the self-vows retreats, and I never got back to couples. What I would really love to do is retreats for couples that either one person is an entrepreneur or both are entrepreneurs. I think that is the most complex, sometimes relationship.
that's what we have.
Being able to connect and stay connected and be intentional about those date nights. And
Yes.
even when you're like doing that little strategy and sneaking a little kiss, just to let you know, "Hey, babe, I still see you even though we're in the midst of this right now." So I really really want to reconnect back to that, like next year is going to be a big year. So yeah.
Yes, I claim that too. I receive it, and
Yeah.
I want to say you're right. And I love the idea, especially about the entrepreneur part because that's us. That's my relationship. You know,
Yeah.
Ryan's three
Yeah.
floors up, in his office doing telehealth with his patients. I'm down here, and I'm doing what I do every day. And every hour we meet for 10 minutes, what we call middle ground, which is the
Oh,
main
that's
level.
beautiful.
And
Oh,
we
that's
we
so
just come and we do
beautiful.
heart to heart hugs or a little peck, ask
Yeah.
how it's going, step outside to get some air together, and then look at it. What time is it? Oh, it's time to go back. Okay, see you in an hour. And
You know what? I think that that is so beautiful. And just to all your listeners, like you should implement that, in your day. If you both are entrepreneurs or even one of you and you just work from home, I think
yes,
just what Dr. Lauren said, it really does keep you connected, because sometimes being an entrepreneur, you can just get so wrapped up into
yes,
so many different things, and you look at the time and you're like, wait a minute, where did the day go,
yeah. Yeah, we say that all the time. And you know what we love about that common ground? That's what we call it. Meet you at common ground. We'll text each other. Are you coming? Because sometimes it'll go over. And
Mhm.
it allows us to leave what we just left where we just left and not take it into
Yes.
our next client's space,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
we separate it when we leave it so that we can come together. And so it's
Right.
almost like a double dip cone. It's got swirls. It's never about just one thing. So you're right. And I was
Abs-
like, okay, I hope she does those because we could use that just to
Yeah.
get back to. And we have date night every Friday night when we go bowling. That's our thing. And um, it's important. And I think more people need that template, if you will, that I know you can provide. Tell people where it is best to go to reach out to you to find out the entire menu because you have a bunch of different things that you offer people, products, services, retreats, workshops, all that sort of thing. So where's the best place for them to head?
So all things self-vows is going to be at the selfvows.com. So if you are
Okay.
interested in the retreats, if you are interested in the self-vows concept, in any books, maybe you are just interested in a conversation. Let's just talk about
Yeah.
the self-vows and see if it's a fit for you. You can always reach out to me at 888-983-4446. You can email me at info@michellerhana.com.
Okay.
And so either one of those places, or if you go to the website, you can still reach out to me there. But I would love to speak to you. And I promise you this, you're not going to get a recording. You're not going to get my admin to call you. I want to talk to you myself. I want to have that conversation with you just to see if it's a fit. And even if it's not a fit, any conversation that I have, something beautiful comes out of it. It's always meant to be.
Yes, yeah, it is, and I'm just so excited, man. I hate our time is up. But you got to come back again. Thank you for all
Thank
you
you.
do. Thank you for these great books, you guys. Are these available on your website, or do they have to go to
Yes, they are.
Amazon?
They should be up and ready to go as of today.
There you go, fresh off the press, as they say. And I just want to say this before we get out of here. Shout out to your lovely mom. Y'all think Michelle is fine. You should see her mama. I'm not kidding. I just love your mom. And I'm not just saying that for the peach cobbler she promised to make me. I'm just telling you, I just love her. What
She
a blessing.
loves you too.
I do. As soon as I saw her, I was like, oh, it's a beautiful thing. You're gonna have to come back with your grandson one of these times, and
Yes.
yeah, you'll get when you buy the book, you guys, you'll get to meet him on the back. There he is, just as handsome as he wants to be. Michelle Arhana, Dr. Michelle Arhana, thank you so very much. Seriously, you
Thank
are.
you. Thank
Uh,
you for having me. This was so great. This was a great morning. This was my mushroom coffee that I love so much.
oh, you do the mushroom coffee? I heard about that.
Yes, I love it. It is one of my favorite things in the morning. So this was my mushroom coffee.
Oh, you got to hook me up with that. I want to know more about that. We got to get you back. Thank you so much, Dr. Michelle. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Great job.
Thank
Great
you.
job. You guys, the books are out. The Self-Vows Littles book, and also the Self-Vows for Teens. And she has some other books. Go find them all, and you will be glad you did. Listen, get out of here. Go out and find a little itty bitty piece of your higher self. Push it over to where you're at right now and watch what happens. You take great to greater, bright to brighter, strong to stronger, and most importantly, nice to nicer. Now, I will see you tomorrow morning, God willing, right over there on the front porch, where we will have yet another illuminated conversation. And I'll remember that tomorrow is Thursday. Listen, get out of here. And as I tell you every day, don't slam my screen door on the way out. That was as country as they get. And know this, Dr. Lauren loves you, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. I'll see you tomorrow. Have the best day ever. Dr. Michelle, great job. Great job. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Love you.